Last week we gave a demo where the user had quite an interesting request, which was that when the trader changed the price in a row, they wanted to be able to validate it, but this validation wasn't just kind of, is it a particular number or whatever. It was a fairly complicated set of rules that was going to use some external server and external rules engine and do some lookups and eventually come back with a kind of yes, no. And they said, is that available in AdapTable? And the answer is it is. Now we do have client validation. That's a much more simple validation. So in this example here, we've created a rule that says language can't be Python, and if it is, then you prevent the edit. And we can see we can do that. So if I go into this one here and I make that Python, it reverts back, and you can see I get the error message to say can't change the language to Python. But if you want to do something more complicated, that is also available, and that uses what we call server validation. Server validation is provided through a property in edit options, and essentially you give us a function, and that function is asynchronous. It will look up whatever value it was given, and it will generally come back with one of three values. Either nothing, which normally means that the edit was fine and there's nothing to do, but sometimes obviously you can decide to update your data source remotely and then feed it back through. Or if it's definitely failed validation, you give the old value, and then AdapTable will automatically replace what was edited with the previous value. Or, and this is quite rare, you can give a different value altogether. So sometimes, you can change the cell from X to Y, but in fact you decide that now it needs to be Z, and you can do that. And as well as providing the values, you can also provide a message to show to the user, a type, error, information warning, etc., and also the header of the message. So let's look at this example here. Let's go full screen. Let's show the code. And here we've provided this validate on server function. And as I say, it's asynchronous, as you can see here. And we've got three rules. We're updating this ratings column. And the three rules are, it can't be over 20, it can't be under 10, i.e. the value has to be between 10 and 20. And for absurd reasons for this demo only, it can't be 15 either. So we can see that here we've said if the new value is 15, then we return the old value and we show a message, an error message. If it's greater than 20, then we show a warning to say it's too high and we change the value to 20. And if the value is less than 10, we do the same. We say it has to be 10. So let's run through those three things. So let's change this 14 to 22. And we can see it comes back and says it can't be greater than 20, so it changed it to 20. And here's 13. So if we try to make this 9, again, we get the info this time, and it says it can't be less than 10, and it's changed it to 10. It was 9. And this one was 13. And if we do our slightly mad 15 rule, now if I make this 13 into 15, it comes back and says you can't provide 15, and it reverts it to the initial 13. Now, obviously, in the real world, you won't hard code these. What you would normally do is you would use this to look up some external server, some pricing engine or whatever you're doing, market data, reference data, in order to see. But the important thing to bear in mind is essentially we allow you to hook in your own asynchronous function, which means that whenever the user makes an edit, you've got the ability to validate that edit where you want, when you want, and either to allow it to come back with a new value or to come back with the old value or whatever. There we are. So that's server validation, which parallels the more basic client validation, and hopefully the two between them allows you to provide all your validation requirements while using AdapTable or AG Grid extension. Any questions, please get in touch. We'll be delighted to provide you with a one-to-one demo or indeed a free, no obligation 2-month trial license. Thank you for watching.